Hey folks, it is Lee from the Upper Darby Township Library coming to you with our second STEM Shenanigans program. Today we are going to make glitter glue jars. I have my ingredients here ready to unpack. This is the kit that is available here at the Sellers Library. If you haven't picked one up already, they'll be available for at least the next week or so as supplies last. So please give us a call here at Sellers, swing by, pick one up if you would like to do this activity. So I will unpack it in a second. The other thing that I have is some warm water. This is still pretty hot. We'll see how that affects it. That's part of the science, right? And then the one thing that I forgot to tell folks to have ready is a stir stick. You're going to want to stir your glitter glue water situation. So have something to stir with. You might see that I have something for containment here. I also have a stack of paper towels because I fully expect that this is going to get messy. So please be prepared to get messy as you do this activity. So here's what I have in my jar here. The jar is going to be part of it. It's not just to hold the kit. It is part of the kit. I taped it shut for safety purposes. So I'm removing the tape, and I have inside here a tiny ramekin of glue. What I read about this is that I'm going to need about a quarter of a bottle of clear glue. So most bottles of glue are between 4 and 7 ounces. So this is probably like 2 or 3 ounces of glue. This should be plenty. I also have some big glitter pieces. We're going to use these to see how they affect the distribution and what it looks like, and because it's going to be pretty. And I have some glitter. I have green. You can obviously use whatever color you like. But this is sort of like a medium-sized glitter. I think that the medium-sized glitter and the big, spangly pieces are going to react pretty differently inside the glue water mixture. So I think it'll be cool to see that. And I have a little bit of food coloring. This is probably optional, but I think it's going to make it look cooler. So I have it here. It was recommended. So here's what we're going to do. Again, I'm going to do this inside my plastic tub so that I don't make a giant mess in the library. My computer's right here. I really don't want to spill glue or water on my computer. So we're going to get started. So what we're going to be doing is combining warm water, glue, and glitter. And what does this have to do with STEM or science, right? So there's a couple of things. One, there's the principle of viscosity, which if you don't remember or haven't learned it yet, viscosity talks about basically the resistance that a liquid has to flowing. Does it flow really quickly like water or milk or soda? Or does it sort of drip really slowly like molasses or honey? And glue, I think, is somewhere in the middle of those things, right? And glue mixed with warm water should be even faster, right? So viscosity, and then also the warm water, the temperature of the water and the mixture is actually also going to affect the viscosity. And that has to do with how heat affects the movement of the actual molecules themselves. When molecules heat up in the water or the glue or what have you, even in a solid, they move more and they move faster. And so it gets looser, right? So if we added cold water to this glue, it would do something different and it wouldn't work as well. So it's actually important that we have specifically warm water. Hot water, I might even have to wait a little bit. Actually, I might actually do that. I'm gonna pour this water now so that it can cool off a little bit, so some of it can cool off. So I'm pouring just a quarter of a jar, and I'm gonna swirl that around and let it cool off a little bit. So that the heat of the water, the heat of the mixture actually affects how viscous it is, how loose it is, and how how it mixes together. So let's see what it looks like. So what I have my instructions here because again, part of the fun of these STEM shenanigans is that I don't practice. I don't do this ahead of time. I don't know how it's gonna work. That's part of the science, right? Is figuring it out. So I have not practiced, but I have instructions here in front of me. So what I need to do is, fill the jar about half full with warm water. Okay, so I'm gonna add some more water here. I microwave my water because it's really hard to come by hot water from the sinks. It just takes forever. So I just microwaved it because that was faster. But it's real hot now. So anyway, so we have some water. It's still pretty hot. And then I'm gonna give it a minute. And then, so what I'm gonna do next, and what you can get ready to do, is pour or squeeze, if you have an actual bottle of glue, this says about 1/4 of a bottle of clear glue. So you do definitely want to use clear glue. What I read about this is that the opaque glue just like looks really messy and not cute when you're done. So make sure you have clear glue, not the opaque stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my tape off of here. I taped this up really good so that people wouldn't go home with a gluey mess. You're welcome. So unpacking my glue, adding that to my pile of tape over there behind the scenes. So all right, let's see what happens. I'm going to put all my gluey mess inside my bucket so that it doesn't make a gluey mess on the table. And then, so I'm gonna add a little bit of glue and see what that does. Gretchen has a good question. How much hot water? This says about half the jar full. So whatever your container is, I think you probably have the same jar as me, about half of it. Hey, Ben. All right, I'm going to do, that was like a dollop. You know, we're testing it out. I don't know how much glue to add yet. But I added like, I think about half of what was in here. So probably about 1 ounce or so of glue. Please don't feel like you need to measure it. Just pour a little bit and see what happens. And then we're gonna stir it so that we can sort of get the glue dissolved in the water, right? And because if the water is cold, it's not gonna dissolve as well. But if the water is hot or warm, it's gonna dissolve really well. So that's why it's important to have hot water or warm water so that it can actually dissolve the glue. Because again, the heat helps it move the glue molecules around and actually dissolve the glue more quickly and more efficiently. So we have dissolved our glue and we might find, probably I think we're gonna find that we want more glue, but I just wanted to start with a little bit just to see what happens. So stir the water and glue quickly until everything is one consistency. I think it's one consistency. Looks like it. And then add some glitter. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna take the top off of this. I like to live dangerously. Maybe. If I can get the top. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right, so I've got some glitter, not a ton, some glitter. There can always be more glitter. Wow, so it's all sitting there on the top, but oh, it's starting to fall a little bit. Okay, cool. So the idea is that like, yeah, there we go. The glitter will sort of fall through the liquid and like look relaxing and be fun. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna put my lid on and shake it and see what it looks like. Cool. Look at that. Okay, and so it sort of falls and swirls its way to the bottom slowly. Cool. And some of it's getting sort of stuck to the glue that's on the side. And that'll go away because we're going to fill the whole thing with water when we're done. So even though there's like glitter stuck to the side of my jar here, I expect that that won't be a problem because I'll be adding more hot water at the end and it'll dissolve the glue there. So that's what it looks like right now. I am going to add, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add water and see what difference that makes in terms of how quickly it falls to the bottom. Because right now it's like, I don't know, kind of a slow snow globe-y effect, but it's falling pretty quickly. So I'm going to add more water. I expect that that's going to make it fall more quickly because, again, water, is it more viscous or less viscous? Less viscous. Viscous means it has more resistance to falling. I took a second to remember that. So water is less viscous, has less resistance to falling or flowing than glue. So I think that if we increase the water in proportion to the glue, that it'll fall more quickly. It'll hang out in the solution for a shorter period of time. Let's test it. Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's falling more quickly. Let's shake it again. Yeah. So, all right, so knowing that, I'm going to add more glue. Where's my glue? Here it is. So again, I have my little ramekin of glue. I'm going to add like another good dollop about the same size, I think. Dollop. And again, I'm going to use my stir stick and I'm going to stir it around until all the glue is dissolved. Again, this water is still pretty warm, so that's good. That's good news. It hasn't cooled off too much to be able to do this. So I'm going to stir, stir, stir until I don't see, until it doesn't look like there's glue on the bottom anymore. And that looks pretty good. Cool. So I'm going to put my lid back on and shake it again. I'll see that, so there still is a little bit of glue on the bottom because you can see that it's like making the glitter stick to the bottom. But again, that'll dissolve in the warm water. So now that we've got more glue, it's like making it hang out in the water a little bit longer, but not a lot. So I'm going to add more glue, I think, because I want it to be more viscous and hang out in the water for longer. And then once I add more glue, I'm going to add more glitter and see what happens. Because I think that that will help. So another dollop of glue. And again, we're just figuring it out, testing, you know, how viscous this glue can make this solution. And the warm water is dissolving it. So, all right. So let's see what that looks like. Tighten it back on so that I don't make a mess. Should we pour in all the green glue? Do you have green glue? Do you mean food coloring? Because we'll get there if you mean food coloring. Let's not do that yet. So I'm going to shake it again just to sort of get all the glue off of the bottom, just in case there's any stuck on the bottom there. Just sort of trying to dissolve it all the way around. Yeah, I think that's making it, I think that's making the glitter hang out in the solution more quickly, a little bit. I do want to have more glue though. Yeah, glitter. Oh, glitter. I would say add as much glitter as you want. I sort of wanted to test out the like glue to water ratio first. But before I added a whole bunch of glitter so that I would be able to like stir it all up. So I'm gonna add my glitter, the rest of my glitter last. So that's my plan, if that helps. So that is most of my glue. And again, that was probably like 2 or 3 ounces of glue. So that's how much glue I put in there. And this is like a, let's see, right now I have, this says, I think, let's see, this is, yeah, I have about 10 to 12 ounces of water to 2 ounces of glue right now, just based on the measurements on the side of the jar. So I'm gonna stir that up again and see what happens. So, now my hands are all gluey. I knew this was gonna happen. For the record, when I put these kits together, I was messing around with the food coloring, and I definitely got food coloring all over my whole hand. For like 3 days, I had a hand covered in blue and green food coloring. My kids were really freaked out by it. They were like, "Daddy, what's wrong with your hand?" And I was like, it's fine. I know I can't wash it off right now. It was a thing. So don't do that, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I think that definitely, wow, look, the glitter is definitely taking longer to fall now. All right, cool. So that's kind of the speed that I was going for, where it sort of falls really slowly and leisurely. Can you guys see how that's different from when it was more watery? It seems pretty evident to me, but I don't know how well that conveys over the video. But yeah, I think it's definitely the amount of glue has made a difference, as we would expect, right? So now I'm gonna add more glitter. And I can show you, but I'm gonna hold it over my tub so that I don't have a glitter explosion. So I'm gonna add another like good dollop. I don't know if you can see that. That's probably about the same amount that I added the first time. I'm gonna go ahead and add like one more. Oh, I accidentally added a lot. Ta-da! Okay, so I have a lot of glitter in here now, and that's fine. I feel great about that. We'll see what it looks like. Science! Wow, that's a lot of glitter. Dang, look at that go. But I think it looks really cool. So there's some that's like not even falling at all. It's just like all at the top. But check that out. That is very satisfying. Yeah, it takes a while for that to fall. That's really cool. So I am gonna add now a few pieces of the like big spangly bits. Partially just because I think it's gonna look cool, and partially to see if we can see like, do they fall faster? Do they float? Do they fall slower? I think they're probably gonna fall faster, but let's find out. So I'm gonna open my jar back up carefully, because it's now very filled with glue and glitter. And get some glue on my hands. And I'm going to just like grab a small pinch of like sort of miscellaneous bits. Some of these are bigger than others because we just had like a sort of a tub of big spangly bits, and I put just like a big pinch in each of them. So there's some that are probably not great for this. They're like too thick and heavy. So if you have that at home, I don't recommend that. But these are just like sequins, just like some different color, different shaped sequins. So there's like mostly round and like one or two like flowers or stars or stuff like that. So I'm just gonna drop them in. So there's like, 10 or 12 of them. And put my lid back on and shake it again. And so I think they went straight to the bottom, actually, which is like not what I was hoping they would do, but okay, now I know that that's what they do. And that's part of the fun, right? Is figuring out what happens. So I'm gonna shake it again and see if it does anything different. But yeah, I don't know if you can see, but to me it looks like they're just like falling straight to the bottom. So now we know that the big spangly bits aren't gonna do anything very cool. Maybe you got something different going on at home. I don't know. If you decided to add big spangly bits, tell me what happened. But yeah, so that's what happened to mine. But I still am really into this glitter snowstorm that I have going on. So now I'm gonna add a drop of food coloring just because I think it's gonna make it look cool. And I have green food coloring to go with my green glitter just because it was sort of hard to imagine what it was gonna look like like if I used a different kind of food coloring. I could do that, I guess, but I'm gonna go with green. And again, I'm just gonna add one drop to the best of my ability because I think it's not gonna need lots because food coloring is surprisingly strong. One of the things that I learned, right? So one drop of food coloring, and I'm gonna close my jar back up and I'm gonna shake it again. Whoa, cool. And it just like spread throughout immediately. So yeah, it's very green in there now, which is pretty satisfying. But it kind of makes the glitter, I don't know if it looks like this to you, but it sort of makes the glitter look more shiny. I don't know, maybe I just sort of notice it more. Maybe it's just because the water is more murky, but it definitely adds, I think. I am not sorry that I put food coloring in here. I was like, what is this gonna look like? I don't know. But I'm definitely not sorry I did it. I think it makes the green glitter looks a little bit like shinier and more gold color, which is a cool feature. I'm into it. And then what I'm gonna do to finish up is just fill the jar with water so that it's all one consistency. And I might end up deciding that I want to add a teeny tiny bit more glue and like see if I can get any more glue out of my jar or my little ramekin. But let's find out what happens. Maybe the glue to water ratio will be really messed up after I add a couple more ounces of water. And this water is still like pretty warm. It's definitely cooled off from where it was before. But again, the glue rather, is pretty dissolved already. So probably it doesn't matter quite as much because it doesn't have to do the work of dissolving the glue, which is really what we need the warmth for, right? To move those glue molecules around and dissolve them. So here's what I have. I think that's pretty satisfying. So yeah, I might see if I can get another like a droplet or two of glue out of my little ramekin just to see what it does. I'm gonna use my little stir stick actually to try to sort of scoop it out a little bit. And hopefully my water is still warm enough to dissolve it. That's a thing that I just thought about. But we'll see. I think it will be. It's still like definitely warm to the touch, so it should still be warm enough to dissolve it. Maybe I'll find out that it's not though. I'm just stirring it just so I feel like I can get as much of the glue dissolved as possible. And I'm just going to put that in there to keep it safe and contained. Everything is now a little bit sticky, which is exactly why I'm doing this in a tub, so that I don't get everything a little bit sticky. Yep, the outside of, definitely going to want to wet one of these paper towels when I get done here and sort of wipe the outside of this off, because it's definitely a little bit gluey and sticky. But here we go. This is, I think, probably my finished product. That is pretty satisfying. So 2020 has been a year. It's been a little bit stressful, probably for a lot of y'all as well. If you're in school, I know that virtual learning is not many people's cup of tea. So if you are feeling stressed out, you can just shake this thing real hard and watch the glitter. And perhaps that will bring a little bit of joy to the end of your 2020. Thank you so much for watching today. I've had a lot of fun doing this. This is definitely going on my desk. And we'll do some more STEM shenanigans next month in January. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Today's the first day of Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Whatever holiday you celebrate, have a good one and a safe one. And we'll see you next time. Thanks again so much.